guys, welcome to the Internet Sports Broadcast Network, where three of us buddies get together and we chat about sports. What happened last week, a little bit about what's going on upcoming week. So, guys, welcome. Say hi to Todd. Say hi to Donovan. Guys, how are you?
What's up?
Rocking.
There we go. So, where do we want to start tonight, guys? We got good things to cover. XFL, college basketball. Baseball season's coming up. Daytona's running a race Thursday night, another race. So getting ready for that. So where do we want to start, guys? When do you take the lead?
Let's do the XFL, man. That was
all right. Let's go.
Awesome.
So Todd, you were the one talking about it. So why don't you jump in and then I'll throw some stuff at you on this. How's that?
Well, I'll tell you what. I was really excited. Just initially, I was like, man, this is good football. I mean, it was good, hard-hitting, gridiron football. And I thought the officiating was good. I do like the kickoffs.
Yeah,
I think the kickoffs are going to be like a big deal because of the ability to score on kickoffs.
Yeah, they can run them back.
Yeah, and I was really floored at how professional the players played. I thought it was very, very polished.
Yep, I did too.
I was really kind of thinking, it's like, what is this going to be like? Is this going to be college? But it wasn't like college ball at all, man. I mean, some of the passing was phenomenal and just some great runs. And man, I watched as much as I possibly could. And it's so new. I don't really have any skin in the game. I don't have any favorite teams, but it definitely I think it's going to work.
I thought Houston's team. I watched a couple of quarters on and off, and they, out of all the teams that I watched on and off over the weekend, they were the best team I saw on top to bottom. So at least we have a Texas team that's actually doing something, which is good.
Right, that's a good point.
So I call it fun. What I got out of it was total fun. I love the rule changes. You're right about the kickoffs. I like that the ball has to land between the 20 and the end zone, right? Or it's really cool. And the guys didn't move. I thought that was awesome. So those guys were making it back to like the 45 or 50, what I'm saying? So that's cool.
Good field position instead of being pinned back.
Right.
And in the standard, they could just do away with kickoffs, if you ask me, and it's kind of a waste of time until the end of the game if they're trying to do an onside kick. I think the whole every year, I think there's only like 6 or 7 return kickoffs for the whole season.
And Donovan, speaking of Houston, the Walker was named the star of the week. He threw 4 touchdown passes in the opener.
Yeah.
Who do you think had the coolest uniforms?
I thought they're all.
Yeah, they all look like uniforms to me. I'm not a real fashionista, so
me neither.
I can't really answer that question.
All right, and so who you guys going to end up thinking? Isn't it interesting that you got Stoops coaching the Dallas team? So you got now Oklahoma and Texans joining together. If you're a Dallas fan, correct?
Yeah, that team looked the worst out of all the teams.
Yeah, and they were supposed to be one of the best.
Yep, they were picked to be the top 2.
Yeah, so I think it's going to be fun. It's a good fill-in for not having any football going on. It was really well organized. And Todd, I love the fields they played on. I loved the way they set up Globe Life Park. It was really cool.
Well, the attendance was pretty good. I mean, for starting out, I mean, they ranged anywhere from like 17,000 to 27,000 for attendance. And I mean, that's really where the proof's going to be in the pudding is, is the attendance, is the XFL going to be able to raise enough money to sustain? And I think Vince said that he would fund it for, what was it, like 3 years or 4 years? That he's committed to like funding the XFL.
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
I think it's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine for this year. I think it'll be good because that's the first time that you've actually had decent football after the NFL's over.
Yeah.
they've had some different leagues come up here and there, but the football that I saw was like it was really well coached for one, and a lot of the players have been in the NFL and that weren't necessarily on their way out, but kind of retreads that were still trying to make squads that are on practice squads for the NFL. So
Yep.
those guys are bubble players of being in the NFL.
They're
And
good. They're good players. So
Yeah.
it wasn't like they were. It's not like the
Yeah.
old arena indoor football where you didn't even know who was playing. Right? You had some pretty big names playing on all the teams.
and
Yeah, big hits, man. Big hits.
Yep.
I like the fact that they can use this offseason some of those guys that are on the practice squad to show other teams that because these guys get stuck on, say, the Dallas Cowboys practice squad and nobody sees them, and Dallas hides them because they're great and they don't have a spot for them, so they keep them on the practice squad. Well, this kind of gives these guys that could maybe make a team and some exposure, which I think is cool for them. And I think they're going to be expanding the roster pretty soon too for NFL. So these guys will have a place to land.
So the first thought came to my mind after I was watching those games is that this almost reminds me of a nice little farm system for the NFL.
Yep.
Because these guys get the playoff season and update their skills, and now this gives these NFL teams something to look at when they're starting their season, right? And bringing people in to try out. So in a way, it's going to help everybody. That's what I thought.
Oh yeah.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool. Like I was like, who the hell's talking over like the announcers? And then I figured out, it was the coaches. You were hearing the coaches, call in the plays. I thought that was pretty cool because they're actually doing stuff where you can hear like the players if they're down and they're hurt. Some of them you can actually hear what they're saying, and then getting the coaches to you're eavesdropping on the coaches. I thought that was pretty cool.
I thought was kind of weird was hearing the play being called.
Yeah, I saw a couple. I spotted a couple Houston Astros in the stands at the Houston game.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
No, but what I'm saying, I know you're doing.
I'm making it funny.
Yeah.
Being fun.
Yeah, calling signs. I got you.
Okay.
But no, I thought that was kind of cool. Unfortunately, they only have 8 games they play, so I'm not sure, but the whole season's not very long.
Well, yeah, it's going all the way to my birthday, 4/20.
Okay. So 8. Well, we're looking at.
Well, they're 8
8 weeks.
And yeah.
Well, they're not they're not dumb because they've had to convert some of these fields they play baseball on and stuff, and they know baseball season starts. So it's really kind of smart to squeeze it in where they did.
Yeah, but I like
beats
hearing
watching skiing.
Right. Yeah, but I do like to hear what the quarterback's saying.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and seeing how they're looking at him, and he's talking, but the thing is I wonder. They're running those plays. Next time they play them, all they do is look at the tape. Like, okay, this is the play he ran with that. This is that play.
Well, that's interesting. I never thought about that. I wonder if they just mute that out. I wonder if those become silent tapes.
Well, anybody can tape them.
Well, I know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Well, it's a little bit more transparency. So,
makes it interesting.
Yeah, you don't have to steal any signs for football. You're getting the calls, and you know what play it is and how they're going to run it.
Yeah, that's a good point. We'll have to see how that shakes out. Or maybe they're not allowed. Well, I guess you could be recording it, so it doesn't matter. That's a good point. Never thought about that.
Just record the game.
I wonder how. Yeah, that's a good point. Be worth considering. So I liked it. So the jury's out. What did we think, guys?
Oh yeah, I thought. Yeah,
it was awesome, man.
As football,
overall good.
As football fans, we really appreciate that, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to be watching it now. It's. It felt good. I was like, grab the dogs and turn on the big screen TV and just. I was like, man, it's like I feel good. I'm getting my NFL picks, so I'm all in.
Yeah, so good. I'm glad we liked it. So, favorite uniform for me was I like the Houston uniforms. I like the red, and if you go to XFL.com website, they show both their road and their home uniforms, which are kind of cool. We're pretty high tech. Helmets are cool. Man, helmets have become quite the thing in football. You know, remember when
Oh,
you were a
yeah.
kid and you played football, you had the little thing inside, the little strap like a headband. You put the helmet on and it was white with and it and,
Well,
and
yeah, weren't
you
they?
got
I
hit and
mean,
you had to go
yeah, they were
home and
made
take
out of
aspirin.
yeah, they were
Yeah.
made out of leather. You know what I mean? And
They were
avoid-
terrible. You had a single face mask that somebody could, you know,
Yeah.
you were always looking at your ear hole.
Gosh, yeah. They
They
never
were
fit.
loose. I don't imagine how we got through without getting hurt, you know. But anyhow, I don't know. I just think it's really cool. I think it's fun. I think it's fun they're wiring people up. I think it's fun they're calling plays on the field. I love the
Mhm.
rules. I just went back and started reading the rules on the XFL. Man, there's
You know what?
it's some cool stuff they've thought of. Really,
Yeah, you know what I think is awesome is you don't hear any of those announcers saying, "Well, we've got to call into New York."
no kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's like talk about efficient. You know, I mean, they've got their instant replay up there. You know, with his Xbox controller, and
Right.
you know, I mean, it you know what? It did go faster.
Well, they wanted to speed it up, and
Yeah.
you know, if you can control the calls right there on the field, why call up to New York, right? So,
Yeah, less commercials.
you know, the NFL is going to learn something from these guys, meaning that I wouldn't be surprised if you see a few changes because of this down the road.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That kickoffs for sure. And,
Yep.
you know, there's you can do 2 forward passes behind the line.
And it
And-
just counts as an incomplete if you drop it.
Right. And, well, yeah, but I didn't see that in any of the games. It's something like I don't think they've incorporated it.
Well,
Yeah,
I mean, there was
quite.
definitely some chicanery going on with one of the teams where they did like a triple reverse flea flicker, and yeah, that
Houston.
ball was going everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, they tossed it back and forth in the backfield 3 times and threw it down the field for a long play. That's cool. So I enjoyed it. I did.
Good.
All right. So guys, what's next?
And what about the fight?
Oh yeah.
Talk about the fight. That was a great fight.
It was.
And the winner was?
John Bones Jones.
Did he deserve it?
You know what? Reyes won the first 2 rounds, and I thought it was the 3rd round was a toss up. Jones took Reyes down, and at the very end of the round, and then I thought Jones won the 4th and 5th pretty handily.
You know what they say about boxing or something like that? They always say the last impression is when you win the fight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that those last 2 rounds, I think it's just our proclivity to take
That's a big word, Todd.
Whoever's-
What was that word again?
proclivity.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, it's kind of our tendency, you know, for the last few rounds. That's who won the fight. Well, I mean, Reyes. I mean, I went back over and I watched it, and I mean, Reyes rocked the house, man. Those first 2, actually, the first 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, he did really, really good, and Jones just he got him. He wore him down and started making bigger moves at the end of the fight. And so I think the tendency was to, you know, give him, you know, better scores.
Yeah, you know, if you happened to come in the last 2 rounds of that fight and hadn't seen the first 3, you would have said, "Wow, this is a butt kicking."
Yeah. I mean, yes.
So it's that last impression. I'm telling you, man. When a guy gets knocked around like he did the last 2 rounds, you forget about the first 2 or first 3, right?
Well,
Yeah.
here's my question: did they submit per round in the book?
Yeah, they do, and you know that, and I know that, but
But I mean, do they actually are they held accountable per round? They can't go back.
correct.
I didn't know. I don't know. That's why I'm
See,
asking.
I guess they score every round on its own,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right? And so
Do they have an eraser though? Can they go back and go? You know what? I think
no,
I should have gave
I
them.
think once they call around and announce it, it's done. I
Okay.
mean, you know, but the fight, you know, it's still judged, and it's, you know, there's
Sure.
bias there.
I mean, Reyes was just like on fire. I mean,
He was, but then he
I mean,
ended up
just
getting his butt
absolutely
kicked.
rocking Jones's head, and just good kicks, good punches, and I mean, like when I was looking at the stats, I mean, he out punched Jones in those first 3 rounds. But
Yeah, he was up quite a bit actually.
yeah, yeah, and it's just I don't know, man. It's like it was a great experience. It was a wonderful fight, but as far as Jones being the definitive winner, I don't think so.
I thought the women's flyweight bout,
Was good.
Valentina Shevchenko, yeah, she's something else.
Tough.
She's a ball of fire.
Tough.
Was that the one where the girl was like bleeding everywhere?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a brutal fight, man.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. Tough stuff. But anyhow, that was good. And yeah, so that was, they even said it was controversial, on all the sports networks after it. But again, they'll rematch. That just demands a rematch fairly quickly, don't you guys think?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'll pay to see it.
Yeah.
For sure.
Talking about like awesome rematches, what do y'all think about that Fury Wilder rematch that's going to be on February 22nd?
That's going to be something else.
Yeah, are you going to get that on pay-per-view, Donovan?
I was not planning on it.
I will go in with you if you want to do that because I would like to see that fight.
Well, we might just have to figure something out.
Okay.
Okay.
So on air, we talked about that and got that nailed down. So what's going to happen, Donovan, is Todd's going to come back to you and go, remember, you promised that on air.
No,
Right.
I said
You
we'll-
consider it.
we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Well, and their last fight was a phenomenal fight, and that Tyson Fury, he's a character, man.
He's a nutcase.
Yeah, oh yeah. I don't know what kind of mental health problems.
No, he's got plenty.
Yeah, but he is very entertaining.
He's a
and
king of the gypsies.
he's a big dude.
Yeah,
Like
He is.
6'7". I mean,
and he doesn't train. That's the crazy thing. If he just trains for this fight, if he has been training for this fight, because he can't start now, he's a little late. But I'd like to see him train where he doesn't drink, doesn't eat bad, and actually
Shows up in shape.
yeah.
well, it sounds like Conor McGregor. Kind of having some issues, and I mean these guys. You got to be in peak, physical condition if you're going to be a contender.
Oh, he very well could have been the champion if he would have been knocked down that one round.
Oh yeah,
Think about it.
Everybody thought he was out and done, and I mean, he gets up. He's like, "Come on, man, is that all you got?" It's like,
He got clobbered too. My
hell
goodness.
yeah.
But Wilder has probably the best right hand I've seen since Mike Tyson or Lennox Lewis, probably.
Yeah, Wilder's awesome. I mean, he's a Olympic medalist too, isn't he?
I'm not sure. I haven't watched Olympics in a while.
All right, guys. Well, okay, let's talk a little bit about Daytona, what we saw happen already. If y'all been keeping up with that, Todd, Donovan.
I have not seen. I know that.
Well, Thursday night they have another little bash
Right.
starting at 6:30. So, but how about Ricky Stenhouse moving teams, almost fired, took some of his crew and won the pole position.
I
Pretty
see that.
cool.
For
Pretty
40
cool.
Yeah.
It's
So,
going to be a wreck fest.
You think so?
Yeah, these guys have just getting more. These cars are getting faster, and they're doing things, just enough little things to get themselves all in trouble. Todd, did you
Right.
see the wreck on? Was it Saturday, Friday, Sunday? When was that?
Well, I had a wreck, and it was like in between my temples Saturday morning.
Okay, gotcha.
Because of activities Friday night.
Yeah, right.
So I don't want to replay that wreck. But,
Okay. Well, anyhow,
It's awesome that they have 101,000 at Daytona Speedway. I've never been. My dad's been several times. He's from Alabama, so
yep,
he's been there in Talladega many a
Yep.
times.
yep.
And I've always wanted to go to one.
I have been to Talladega, and there's nothing that you can talk about from what the versus TV versus being at one of those events live.
Right.
There is no comparison. the sounds, the speed,
The smell.
the smell, but
Oh,
the speed,
yeah.
you go, wow, these guys are really moving. You know, TV, you got the cameras moving with the car, gives us a relative, you know, but when you're
Yeah.
watching them come down the straightaway and
Mhm.
you're standing there and they go by, oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Well, it's going to be fun. Okay. So NASCAR starts in a week.
So who do you think's going to win right out of the gate?
I think Hamlin's going to win the race.
You think?
Yeah, I think he's strong. He looked really strong and looks like he has the kind of car to beat. But I think you've got to look at somebody like
Kevin Harvick?
Kevin Harvick. I think you got to look at Ricky Stenhouse. He's a good restrictor plate racer. He always is in the top 5. But you never know because you don't know when the wreck's going to happen and where you're at in the lines, right?
Sure.
If you you know, so it'll be a lot of single file racing. I'm sure that they'll be pretty cool at the front, but the last 30 laps, it'll probably take 3 hours.
Oh, wow. I just watched that wreck. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah. Did you see what happened there?
Oh, somebody got a whole bunch of people got sideways in that green car.
Went head on into the wall. But what happened is that Kyle Busch went down below Logano, right, on the corner panel. And you just can't do that. Not at those speeds.
But it is restrictor plated, so they don't slide too much, do they?
Oh.
Well, the restrictor plates we're talking about on the carburation is.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
they all run about the same.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. They still go over 200 down the straightaways, but nobody can break away from unless you lose the draft, right? So, you know, you got even cars, fairly even, and they're drafting, so even a slow car can stay in the draft, right, if he's in the right place. And so what happens is it only takes somebody to touch somebody's corner panel in the middle of the pack for the whole pack to go sideways and cause the big one.
Well, yeah, it's a chain reaction when you're going.
And there's nothing you can
200
do.
mile an hour and everybody's nuts to butts. You know, it's a big wreck. You know, ready to happen.
Yeah, and so the guys realize that if you're in front, it's hard to be in the wreck, right? So guess what everybody's trying to do, Donovan? They're trying to run in the front. So you know, it's give and take. They're trying to get there, and they're trying to avoid not wrecking to get there.
Sure.
Well, and I mean, it's like, you know, a lot of this stuff is just look at Tony Stewart. You know, I mean, dirty Tony Stewart. You know, just some of the dirty stuff that they do to one another. You know, just a nice little pit maneuver. You know, just hit them a little bit in that back corner and just spin them out. And, I mean, dirty Denny Hamlin. I mean, he's dirty. I mean, a lot of people are like, hey, man, you know, you wiped us out. And there's a lot of grudge. I mean, that's what makes NASCAR so awesome is it's kind of like the feuding. You know, you're like, hey, man, you know, you took me out. I'm going to take you out. And, man, they will. It's like when they're gunning for you, man, they will get you.
I think one of the things they're really going to pay attention to in this race, based on what I've been hearing, is they're really going to penalize people who try to bump draft in the corners. They allow it going down the straightaway, but you're supposed to release from the car in front of you when you get into the corner. So I imagine there'll be some penalties issued for trying to bump draft the guy in the corner. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. You know, it's funny. Cars go 200 miles per hour, but the thing that wins the race is the pit stops.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Every time. So I highly recommend y'all watch those on starting Thursday night. You'll enjoy them. They're fun because these guys some of them haven't qualified and they got to get in. So, you know, it's real competitive. It's fun to watch.
Yeah.
So,
and we have nothing better to do on Thursday night, right? Yes, Todd.
So, did y'all hear about the president, the NCAA president, going to the Senate?
No, what?
Asking the Senate to please give us some more legislation on paying players.
In other words, open up the floodgates some more?
Well, the floodgates are already open.
Right, but I mean, make it less rules, more stuff. What?
Well, they want uniformity, you know,
across the board. Okay.
Across the board. And, you know, there are some concerns about, you know, big conferences, you know, having
manipulating and dominating
influence, you know, for recruits. And I mean, it's
Sure.
already that way. I mean, if you're in a successful conference and you've got money, you're already heads and shoulders above everybody else. So I don't think it's really going to matter for recruiting because conferences that aren't popular, that don't have money, it's not going to matter because it's not like the advertisers are going to be endorsing athletes from schools that aren't powerhouses. So it's going to kind of stay the way it is. It's just they need to have some national legislation so it'll be uniform across the nation. And that's one thing that Emmert was talking about, trying to give us some guide rails that the NCAA can operate within to kind of simplify it. Because I mean, right now you've got multiple states that either have laws on the books, like California starting in 2023, and then you've got multiple other states that are doing legislation too. So they need to kind of have like a national kind of format for what's going to be acceptable and what's not acceptable, so it's uniform.
Yeah. So I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, so this great quarterback gets recruited by this school, right? He does really well, but then this other guy comes along that's a little bit better, and he's getting paid quite a bit from this school. But besides the transfer, can the other school come in and offer him more money? Can they try to steal him away with a better package? I mean, is that going to be part of what's going to happen?
Who knows?
Well, a lot of this is about private industry through basically their advertising arm endorsing and trying to give the athletes money. It's not the schools paying the players, it's private business.
Yeah, but when you
endorsements.
get private business involved and they want a certain player and they go out and say, "Hey, Bob Smith, we'd like you to come down to our school and look what we're going to do for you if you transfer," right?
Yep.
I'm saying, I bet the first couple of years of this, they just have to go through a bunch of stuff and figure it out, right? They'll kind of find out where the loopholes are and figure it out, right?
Yeah. So another thing they're thinking about doing is giving every college football player, I guess maybe college player, one to go to the portal and transfer without any penalty one time.
Oh, okay.
Now the problem with that is
Yeah.
the problem is if everybody doesn't have to sit out a year, you can theoretically be recruited the whole time you're in college to go somewhere else,
Right.
which is not fair.
Yeah, it doesn't seem right. It doesn't.
Would y'all explain, kind of unpack that for me? Because how's it unfair if a player gets offered a better deal and they want to leave?
No, it's unfair to the university for to have people coming to the university and calling.
Right.
Their recruits or their actual football players saying, "Hey, y'all had a bad game this time. Hey, we actually, we really need a linebacker next year, and you're going to be
Come
a
on,
junior.
see us. Yeah.
You did really good, and you know what? We're probably going to win a national championship next year. Kind of want you on board."
I think there has to be some contracts. If a guy gets recruited at a school and is there and has that pay package, right? I think he should have to sign a piece of paper that requires him to stay there.
Yeah, it'd be crazy if there wasn't a contract.
Right, but I mean, he has to stay there. He can't transfer.
Yeah,
I can't imagine what this book is going to look like. It's going to be this thick.
It's just, I don't see how it's really unfair if somebody doesn't want to be at your school. You're gonna relegate them to being at a school they don't want to be at. I mean, don't we live in a free country where people say, "Hey, I'm going to breach my contract. I'm going to go somewhere else." I mean, what's wrong with that?
Like I said, I don't know how it's going to all shake out. I need to sit down and read more about it, and see what they come up with. But hey, this is the thing that's opened up. I think it's always been fair for athletes that put their bodies on the line and go to school to have some sort of compensation for what they bring to university, no doubt, right? Now
Sure.
We'll just have to see how it all works out.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody knows.
On a side note to that, did y'all know that Texas is suing California?
We're suing California.
Mm-hmm.
What are we suing California
over the travel ban that they put up. Yep.
What,
Did-
what travel ban?
Yes.
So
Phyllis. All right. So college basketball.
Longhorns.
They played Baylor. How did that go?
Not so well.
Yeah, like it always does. That's
Hey,
bad.
Baylor's still number one.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
Yeah, and they're going to stay number one for a while. Well, maybe not a while. They're susceptible. Can you believe the points that were scored in that game? I mean, good gosh, was it 26 points they scored in the whole game?
Yeah, they were held to 16 points in the first half.
How is that? Well,
Ouch.
yeah, I mean, how is that even possible? I mean,
bad
not-
shooting because they, you know what? I watched the first half of the game and they missed they missed a ton of easy shots. So it wasn't like Baylor was playing great defense. They weren't. But then Baylor just kept running down the court and scoring, and they just kept missing. So, you know, you got to make baskets. You got to score.
You got to do something. Yeah. Good. Yeah. I mean,
The game wasn't a huge runaway. I mean, 52-45. I mean, it's not a blowout.
yeah, but come on. If you and their defense was actually pretty good. I mean, we were bowling during the first part of the game, so I didn't see till the second half. I only watched half of the half, and I knew what was going to happen. So I decided to watch a Hallmark movie, probably.
Right.
Yeah, sure you did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Well, yeah, y'all watch Hallmark movies, don't you?
No.
Come on.
No. I don't think I have it on I do. It's on my channel list, but no, I don't. Hey, so I'm watching, keeping up the phone right now. There's 4 minutes left in the game. It's live right now. So anybody listening to this tomorrow is going to know Auburn's up 79-72 over Alabama. The top 10, I was going to look that up. Give you the rundown here on
on the men's, yeah, on the standings.
on the men's. Yeah, let me bring it up. College. So we still have an undefeated team, believe it or not.
Yeah, San Diego State.
San Diego State is still
Yeah.
undefeated.
You know who the coach is?
No.
Dang it. I was on the tip of my tongue. I can't tell you, but he was a Michigan coach when they were the Fab Five. I'm pretty sure. You remember the Fab Five? Y'all don't know who the Fab Five is?
Yeah.
Okay. I think he was a Michigan coach during that time. But Fisher, I think that's who San Diego State's coach is.
I'm not looking that up. I'm just going to look up and do a recap on.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're keep talking because I'm looking this up, right? So, AP poll top 25: Baylor, Gonzaga,
Yep.
Kansas, San Diego State, Louisville, Dayton, Duke, Florida, Maryland. Let me go back here. Maryland, Seton Hall, Auburn, Kentucky, Penn, West Virginia, Villanova, Colorado, and Oregon, Marquette, and then Butler, Houston, Iowa, and Illinois, Creighton, Texas, actually Texas Tech. I mean, to clarify that, and
Please
LSU
do.
are your top 25.
Yeah.
And so we're getting ready to hit March Madness. So we'll really pay attention to that when we get closer to March. You know, we'll see how things shake out for the brackets. But it's a real even. The thing I'm trying to tell you guys is it's been a pretty even college basketball season.
Oh, yeah.
You know, this is the first year where you don't see a couple teams just absolutely dominating the whole thing, except, of course, that San Diego State team. They're good. They're really good.
Yeah.
So, hey, guys, so what about a trip up to Arlington for the opening weekend in the new ballpark? What do y'all think?
I would love to go see it. But
Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Road trip up and go to the new ballpark?
I would love to see that.
I like the old one, but I wouldn't mind going up for the new one just to see what it looks like and get a feel for it. Are any of y'all, Todd, are you a baseball fan at all?
Yeah. I mean,
It depends, right?
I like baseball. I would just rather play it, you know.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those games. I get
I
that.
was like when I was younger, I was a pitcher, and I was pretty good, you know, hitter too. I'd rather kind of do it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, well, I like watching it like if I'm gonna be, you know, at the stadium.
Yeah, I'd rather be at it live than watching on TV myself. But
Yeah,
TV's so good today, you feel like you're there anyhow.
Sure. And uh, the baseball, I'm kind of curious to see some of the new implementation of how they're going to police stealing signs and all that stuff, how that kind of beginning of the season starts, if they're going to have extra personnel looking after that. You know?
Undercover.
it's
They're
a
going to
normal
have
deal.
stadium marshals.
No, I mean, it's legit.
Yeah,
I know.
it's
Stadium marshals.
It's a normal deal, and I mean, I forgot the coach that left the Astros, and then did he go to the Mets or somewhere? I'm trying to think of his name. You know, he's like, he told the players, this was kind of like a quote. He goes, your methodology of stealing signs is antiquated, and so he brought them, you know, up to date with the latest and greatest ways to steal signs, and then he got caught. And I mean, if everybody's doing it, I don't see what the big deal is.
They've been doing it since the beginning of baseball.
They're not going to do it now because a lot of the top guys that were doing it are gone. So
Well, here's the deal. You can't do it in a broad spectrum like that and expect everybody.
you just got to watch players and see their tendencies. There's real ways to do that stuff. But don't be surprised if the popcorn girl's a stadium marshal.
Yeah,
Well,
but
and
Go ahead.
somebody made the point that I was reading an article. They're like, look, even when they were doing this, you know, stealing signs and communicating it via the trash can, did it really help them? And there's a pretty good argument that actually kind of says that, you know, even if you knew what was coming your way, doesn't mean you're going to do any better at it. You know, I think it's definitely one of those things that, you know, you can really argue. I don't know if it really does benefit a team to know, you know, what's going to get thrown.
Well,
I do.
can't-
I think that if you know what's coming, the likelihood is you've got more of a percentage chance of doing really well.
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
I'm with you on that.
Absolutely.
Because I've thought about this, and I mean, just to hit a 60 mile an hour, 70 mile an hour
Right.
fastball is hard. I mean, literally, it's really. I mean, from a machine, you know where it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's hard, and somebody throwing in the 90s, you don't know if it's, you know, if it's going 80 or if it's going 98 and breaking or going straight. You know, it's at least you know at what direction it's kind of going.
Yeah, because what fools a batter is change of speed, right?
Yeah.
The taking the fastball to a curveball to a slider to a force, you know, whatever seam they're throwing, and changes the way the pitch moves and also the speed of it. But if you know one's coming and you know that pitcher's getting ready to, say, throw a force seam fastball, you've got a good chance of getting geared up for it and ready for it. Or if it's a curveball coming and you know it, you definitely have an advantage because you're not guessing, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Maybe they should just make it all legal. Just flip it all the way around and have the camera right behind saying, "Oh, he's throwing a curve."
We live in the age of technology, so if somebody wants to do something and figure it out, they'll figure out a way to do it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Just be transparent.
You know.
Like, hey, that would make I mean, think about this. You talking about a pitcher being the best pitcher in the world if he can strike people out when they know what's coming. And he has to throw it.
But the other way to work around that is to change up typical signage, right? And mix up the whole routine for what 1 means, 2 means, 3 means, inside means, and then just and reverse the process, right? The problem with that is the catcher usually gets hit in the head because he thinks he's getting a curveball, and a fastball comes and he's not ready for it, and it smacks him. So
you don't want to be a catcher. In that
you do want to be a catcher if he's thinking something's coming, it's not coming. No,
or an ump for that matter.
Or an ump for that matter, because he usually gets killed too. So yeah, so there's all sorts of things you can do, but I think I always laughed when I saw a poor catcher back there thinking he's getting a curveball and a fastball comes at him at 98 miles per hour. It scares, it just beans him,
Hurdy, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think they juice the balls?
Yeah.
Coming and going?
I just think, if the couple of the pitchers that are been around for a long time say that, I kind of agree with that. There's just too many home runs. I mean, pitching may be not as good as it used to be, but man, there's just an awful lot of home runs being hit, especially last year before. Makes the game exciting.
Yeah.
Now, these athletes are stronger, they're bigger, they're more powerful.
Trained better.
They're got good hitting coaches, and the pitcher, if you think about it, still wins because the highest batting averages aren't over 300. So 1 in 3 is being hit no matter what you say. So I don't know if it matters. It's just that you get it seems like the ball carried really well, but those guys are bigger and stronger. Look at the players that were hitting home runs back, say, in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
They weren't these big guys.
No.
Some of these guys can hit a ball out by just with their arms.
Yeah.
So sports have definitely, across the board. Everything's gotten more technical, more scientific. Even like, when we grew up, and played sports, you didn't have, club ball, you didn't have, pitching coaches. You didn't have,
you didn't have hitting coaches. You didn't have video to watch pitchers.
Oh yeah. Well, my buddy Doug, he took his son's team all the way to the nationals, for like, little kids. Right. And I was like watching his team play. I'm like, holy cow. These like little kids out there playing like pros. I'm like, just phenomenal coaching. And it's like, 30 years ago when we were playing, it wasn't anything to that level. And now, everything is just to the nth level with all of the coaching.
Yeah. So in the old days, Todd, it used to be your coach used to say, up there, son, and hit the ball. Well, today, you've got these guys watching video, but not only that, they've got these hitting coaches teaching them how to elevate the ball off the swing, right? And how to hit under the ball or hit the ball the right way. And so they've changed swing techniques over the years. The good home run hitters have learned how to adjust their swing to elevate the ball. And these stats about how high it goes and how far it goes and how the speed of the ball going out of the ballpark, it's all because they've taught them how to hit like that. It's weird.
Sports science.
So that's why pitchers are trying to elevate more their fastball, right? You see a lot of pitchers trying to throw above the letters. They're trying to take away that guy that can get underneath the ball. They're trying to get him to sucker for that high pitch.
Yeah.
So interesting. I love baseball.
Very interesting.
I love to watch the in-between stuff. All right, guys, what else?
Steve Fisher did. Anyway, I'm looking at San Diego State. It's kind of been bothering me. They're number 4 right now in the rankings, undefeated.
Yep.
So Fisher retired last year, and his longtime assistant of 17 years, I think, took over, Brian Dutcher. And they're rocking and rolling. So I was a big fan of his, so of Fisher. So he's been groomed under him, and he's won everywhere he went.
I haven't seen them play, but I'm telling you, based on what I'm hearing from the sports analysts, they're saying they're a very good basketball team.
They've got a big talent pool to pull from.
And I wouldn't be sure if they didn't play Baylor right now. They couldn't beat Baylor.
Yeah. I don't know. Baylor's defense is legit.
It is.
So, yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah. No, I don't see them going to the final four. I don't see Baylor going. I see them maybe Sweet 16. I think they'll be a first or second seed. Right now, they're projecting that Kansas and Baylor both are going to be first seeds. We'll see. I'm not sold on that right now. As far as from the Big 12, they had this weekend they said that they were showing that 2 teams from the Big 12 were going to be in top seeds. And I'm like,
Really?
I don't think so. So there's a lot of basketball left before.
Well, we'll have a lot to talk about with XFL, March Madness coming up, NASCAR season starting. And so, guys, some of the fights coming up. So, guys, we've been on an hour tonight. Really good.
Okay.
Thank you. That's cool. Oh, by the way, we always like to finish up with let's
Predictions?
talk about your bowling session on Monday night.
Let's
God.
not. Let's
Oh,
not.
come on.
Let's not. How about that?
Okay,
So
so
it
you're
was-
gonna
it
skip
was
the
bad.
bowling report.
So we
Yeah.
got up to what, 7th or 5th place?
Fifth place.
5th. Yeah, I went and looked, and we bowled the one team that let's just say they are
Good.
They're
no.
rudimentary bowlers. They're not
No,
sophisticated.
I'm not going to say that they're men or women. I'm not going to say that they're young or old. But I will tell you this: if you, well, I can't even say that.
Okay. So the lanes, right? Let's go at this from a different angle, right? The lanes were like super tricky, and the way that our team bowls, you need to know where the oil's at, and you need to get your ball out of it so it'll hook up and come back and hit in the pocket, right? Well, the people that we were playing weren't really doing that. They were kind of more straight line bowlers. Totally worked to their advantage because our lanes were goofy. And I mean, our numbers were in the toilet. And we didn't bowl badly, but when you look at our scores, it was bad.
So that was the bowling report from Todd and Donovan on Monday night, guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're winding down. We want to thank everybody for listening to Three Friends, just talking sports and catching up a little bit on what they're doing and having some fun. And so, guys, somebody's phone's on. Whose is it?
I'm answering it. She can listen to me while we're talking. We're finishing.
That's no big deal. But I just want
Yeah.
to thank you guys for being on and sharing tonight. And we'll catch you guys next Wednesday night. Thanks for listening to the Internet Sports Broadcast Network. Good night,
Hoorah.
guys. Good
Thank
night.
y'all.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Hey, babe.